Do not let someone else's indecision, fucking damn it. I just did a really intense reading for the collective. But seriously, don't be confused based on someone else's indecision. This is a very strong message that I feel like it's so obvious, okay? It's so obvious. But it's funny because there are things like the rose-tinted glasses, or letting yourself get numbed, being dissociated, or going into autopilot, or living in survival mode. There's so many fucking things, all right? I'm not here to discern everything for you, but truly, once again, disclaimer. This is all just based on my own experience, collective. So please use your discernment, because I'm not here trying to tell you what to do or what works best for you. I'm just sharing. Hi. Hi. Hey. What's up? Truly, why are we doubting ourselves? Why are we being confused when someone's indecisive? Based on what? Based on what? It's like, it blows my mind, because sometimes there are moments where even myself, I'm like, wait, but I do deserve, so why am I, expecting it from someone who doesn't have the space, okay? With all due respect, we're all living our own lives. We're doing our own thing. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've been really releasing, is expecting someone to literally forsake their whole entire life just so that I can be a part of it. And it's because I did feel like there was a thing that I was teaching myself as a child, or conditioning myself more so, and it wasn't healthy. So once again, is your discernment. But I felt like, because of how much I had to offer, that there was only so much space that people could truly offer me. And then, or like in terms of space. And then when it comes to like people feeling like I deserve better when it's not their fucking place. And that was like a really big thing for me, where I was just like, it's not your place to decide what's best for me. That's fucking bullshit. It's absolute fucking bullshit. And at the same time, I recognized as well that these people who said this to me were probably the closest ones to my heart. Like probably the closest ones that I allowed into that heart space. And it was interesting, because I went through this whole thing where I was questioning, like, I was confusing myself. And it's because I listened to their advice, when in reality, I would not live like them. I do not live like them, and I am not them. So when someone is indecisive about choosing me, that just shows so much. So that, I like to reverse the script a lot. So whenever I think those things in terms of other people, I like to think of it in my own first person type experience, right? So if I'm feeling indecisive towards another person, that really shows me how much I actually value them or respect them. It's a good moment for me to check myself as well, because like I said, in every single video I try to, at least, is that I'm a human, okay? Like, I am not any better or worse than anyone else. Thank you. And I really do make an effort to do this, because I read tarot for people. People are willing to take my advice, but once again, it's free will. It's not my place. It's never been my place. But when people consent to me doing something like that, I want to do it with respect, I want to do it with honor, and I want to do it with purity. And the purest way that I can do it is with love, peace, and joy. And when I feel myself kind of like, this is such a common thing, especially for those who've dealt with like insecurity, like scarcity mindset, victim mentality, just feeling less than, things like that. But truly, when you really want to welcome someone in your life, but they're not like actually welcoming you into theirs, into their own world. And I'm a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio Mercury, okay? So like, I really do value depth, and it's just because of the fact that I wish to be vulnerable with people too, Like, I want to be every single part of myself and not feel judged, or feel like I have to perform, or that I have to put my feelings to the side. right? And so when I'm really seeing clearly now is that I kept choosing people who were deliberately doing that because in my subconsciousness, I had literally kept telling myself through my my mental scape and like my mental landscape is how I like to describe it, is like that it would make sense that they would say no to me because I'm quote unquote too much. You know? And that's such an old way of thinking. But I kept making the same choices despite me having this recognition, realization with myself. So when I feel confused, when I'm interacting with someone, I like to think, what do I even want to be in this person's life, truly? And how is that aligned with how they actually treat me? Am I projecting my desires onto this situation just because I really want someone doesn't mean I need them? That's different. That's really different. And it's like, all I need is already here. Let's just establish that, okay? Everything you need is already here. So what exactly are we doing to be inspired to act? And I noticed that this part of myself that was very like egoic, very jealous, very insecure, very like felt very less than, worthless. Like, those are things that I can address with myself. It has nothing to do with this person. But just because it brings something up through this interaction with this person, it teaches me a lot about how I actually feel towards them. So it's like acknowledging those things. Just because I feel a certain way towards someone doesn't mean that, like, this is kind of like a slippery slope to talk about, because I do believe that we should follow our heart. I believe that to be probably the most purest thing that we can do. One of the things, though, is that we can get so emotionally attached to the physical incarnate of things that now it is this person that is giving me this feeling, instead of me recognizing that I myself am literally just feeling it. That is what I mean by reclaiming your power and your presence, because your attention is going elsewhere instead of right back to yourself when you're the one who's literally creating these things. Every new beginning, every ending, everything you walk away from, every choice that you make, that is up to you. You have the free will. You get to choose things. So when someone doesn't choose you, it doesn't make you less than or better. It's just their choice. Keeping things super simple, right? So I'm not going to confuse my worth just because someone is not choosing me, right? Because they have free will, with all due respect. There's balance that comes forth from this energy, and I do really, I'm just very devout in my spiritual practices, and so that's why I just like, I make it a mission to not hurt this person just because I'm feeling pain. Because deep down inside, I know that I care for them, and I know that they care for me too, right? Just because I care for them doesn't mean that they feel cared by me. And just because someone cares for me doesn't mean that I feel cared for. Does that make sense? So that's why it's just one of those things that I'm realizing now, like even as I'm talking about it with you guys, it's just like, I'm not going to confuse myself. When I'm with me, I'm not confused. So when I bring myself out into this world, I wish that is my intention, is to not confuse myself or others, to be honest and direct, and still also allow there to be silence and space. Because I don't need to explain myself of how valuable I tell this person. I don't need to tell them time and time again, just to remind them what? When they don't feel that way, I can't convince them, you know what I mean? I'm not here to persuade you into thinking that you're X, Y, and Z. If you believe that you're something, then you are literally saying that about yourself. That is what you are choosing to believe. And I send this message with so much love and support, but truly it's your choice. And I let it go. That is the one thing that I've learned in this life, is that letting it go, let people make their own stories, because There's a really common thing that people say about Scorpios is that we're misunderstood. The biggest reason why, though, I feel like at times, even though we're known to be like the most honest, frank, or like depthful people, it's because we do want to protect our depths. And that requires discernment. And it also requires addressing your ego and checking your ego. Because at the same time, there's such a common thing, like just like Leo energy, where you get so caught up in the fact that you are traveling into your depths that you feel that other people must meet you there. That is someone else's journey entirely. It's like you can't heal. It's that same saying, you can't heal people. You can only really heal yourself. It is their choice. It is their own path to walk, to realize, to recognize. So if someone doesn't discern, or if someone, wow, I love how I just forgot the word that I used at the beginning of this video. But if I feel confusion when I'm interacting with a person, I take space so that I can discern for myself where I see myself, who I truly am when it comes to this connection. Am I allowing there to be presence? Am I being present? Am I addressing myself in a manner where I'm showing compassion and forgiveness and flexibility? Am I being kind to me as I'm moving forward? Because I too am a child of God. Do I move forth with integrity and resilience so that I can allow there to be vulnerability and just honesty? Honestly, that's it. Just being honest. If I'm presented the opportunity to speak up for myself, then I will. But I don't always need to force that kind of situation to happen. You know what I mean? If there is an opportunity, I don't have to force anything. That is a really big thing in the spiritual experience that I've been having, once again, based on my own experience, okay? So that is the video. I really do hope this supports you, because it's been helping me a lot to not confuse myself anymore and to finally actually really wholly choose myself. Thank you so much for allowing me the space to speak, truly. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being alive. Seriously. And I'm sending you guys so much love and support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, collective.